Hello, my name is Diane Larson-Freeman. I'm a teacher-educator at the School for International Training. It's common in language teaching education programs to survey current language teaching methodologies. At SIT, we do this by giving our teacher trainees a direct experience with each method. The purpose of this videotape series is to provide you with a similar, though vicarious experience involving 6 common methods: the audiolingual method, community language learning, the comprehension approach, Suggestopedia, silent way, and the communicative approach. The intermediate level lessons you will observe were taped at the television studios of the USIA in Washington, D.C., and it is through the courtesy of the USIA that this program is being made available to you. The students were all volunteers who were studying English at the time. The instructors are experienced language teachers and teacher educators from SIT who have each taught students in various parts of the world using the methods they demonstrate for you here. For the sake of coherence, the instructors have designed their lessons around a common theme, namely that of a house. What you will see are somewhat condensed versions of the original lessons. All of the steps of the lessons have been preserved, but some of the participation has been trimmed in the interest of time. The instructors have tried to faithfully depict each method, but of course, each instructor is also putting the principles into practice based upon his or her interpretation and experience. First, I will introduce each method. Next, you will observe the method in practice. Afterwards, I will point out the salient techniques and principles associated with each method. The lessons are meant only to introduce you to these methods. All of the methods have a richer repertoire of principles and techniques than can be fully portrayed here. If you wish to learn more, you may choose to consult my book, Techniques and Principles in Language Teaching, published by Oxford University Press. As you view the tape, try to remain open to what you see. You may be missing out on something valuable if you reject any of the things you observe in these lessons because you don't see how they could apply to your own situation. For example, there are about 25 students participating in these lessons. Your own classes may be much larger than these. Rather than thinking, this will never work with a large class, think instead, is there anything worthwhile for me in this technique? And if the answer is affirmative, next, ask yourself, how then can I adapt this technique to my own circumstances? Or, what other way can I put this principle into practice? Let your imagination create the possibilities for you. The first method we will observe is the audiolingual method, or ALM. It's a method with which many of you may already be familiar. My colleague, Michael Gerald, will now demonstrate the ALM. Watch carefully what the teacher is doing and what he is asking the students to do.
Good morning, class.
Good morning. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. Today's lesson is going to be about 2 people, about a salesman, a special kind of a salesman. Now, you know what a salesman is. That's a person who sells something to somebody else, a salesman. We're going to, today the salesman is a vacuum cleaner salesman, and the other person, here's the vacuum cleaner salesman, and let me write that. The other person is a woman, or we could call her a housewife. So now, I want you to just listen and watch what I do. Listen carefully, watch what I do, and try to understand, okay? Now, I'm the salesman now, okay? I'm going to be both people. I'm going to play 2 roles. I'm going to be the salesman and the woman. Okay. Ring, 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 ring. Ring, 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 ring. Now, the woman. Hello? Hello, madam. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town? Yes, of course I would. Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner. No, I don't. Salesman. What? Why not? Because my husband does the cleaning in our house. Oh. Okay, now listen and I'll do it one more time. You just listen and don't talk this time. Listen again, I'll do it one more time. Salesman. Rings the bell. Good morning. Good morning, madam. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town? Yes, of course I would. Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner. The woman says, no, I don't. Salesman says, what? Why not? And the woman says, because my husband does the cleaning in our house. And the salesman says, oh. All right, now, we're going to learn this together now. I'm going to help you learn how to say this whole dialogue, okay? So, please repeat. The first line is the woman says, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The salesman says, good morning. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Good morning. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Okay. House in town. Just say that much. House in town. The cleanest house in town.
The cleanest house in town.
Okay. Now just group D here. The cleanest house in town.
The cleanest house in town.
A. The cleanest house in... That's okay. The cleanest house in town.
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 Okay, now just you. The cleanest house in town.
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 Cleanest.
Cleanest.
The cleanest house in town.
The cleanest house in town.
Good, very good. Okay. This group. The cleanest house in town.
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 Ah, no, just right now, just this group, okay? That's good. In a minute, in a minute. The cleanest house in town. Just
The cleanest house in town.
you, Matt.
The cleanest house in town.
The cleanest house in town. Good. Everybody, the cleanest house in town.
Cleanest house in town.
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Okay. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Good. Okay, you.
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
The cleanest house in town.
Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Good. Okay. From the beginning now, the woman says, good morning. Everybody, good morning.
Good morning.
The salesman says, good morning, madam. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Good morning, madam. Would you like to have the cleanest house in town?
Okay, good. Now the woman says, yes, of course I would.
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 All right, this half of the class, yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
This half, yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
You, please, yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I
Yes,
would.
you have to say it with feeling, right? Yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I
Yes,
would.
good, thank you. You, sir.
Yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
Okay, everybody, yes, of course I would.
Yes, of course I would.
Salesman says, then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Then, madam, you need an amazing vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner.
Vacuum cleaner.
Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Hoover vacuum cleaner.
The amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
The amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Then, madam, you need an amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Okay, this group. Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
All right, you. Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Then, madam, you need the amazing Hoover vacuum cleaner.
Good, very good, very good.